All right, folks, we have some very interesting silver news talking about Wall Street insiders signaling grab gold fast. And gold always brings her little sister silver to the dance. What are we talking about? We're going to dive into that in a second. First and foremost, welcome to your daily silver news. My name is Silver Slayer, and if you want the latest information of what's happening around the world and how that affects the price of precious metals, make sure you click subscribe, click the bell, click all. When you click the bell, there's different notifications. If you want all my notifications, some of them or none of them, make sure you have all notifications so you never miss a video. Let's jump straight into this. This was a tweet posted 2 days ago on September 19th. Remember Rick Rule saying it would quadruple investment demand for gold if global allocation reverted to the means of 2% from the current 0.5%? I've been saying it's starting to happen. Here's evidence. Double Line Capital's Jeff Gundlach says a 25% allocation is not excessive. And there from CNBC, you hear him saying this. A 25% type of weighting in portfolios of gold is not excessive. Now, when we talk about gold, that goes hand in hand with silver. Right now, silver is actually outperforming gold, even though gold is sitting around all-time highs. Silver sitting at 43, not even near its all-time high, but it is approaching. So both are great investments. Both are a store of wealth. Both are a way for you to take control of your wealth. Instead of having your money pegged to a worthless dollar backed by a centralized system that is trying to get ourselves out of debt by replacing it with more debt, that's $37 trillion in debt that is designed to fail, you are taking that money out of your bank account and putting it into your own bare hands. And I say bare hands because there's also paper gold and silver, like GLD and SLV or PSLV, but that's not the same thing. You want to hold it with your hands. Physical gold and silver coins that you can hold. You could put it in your safe or wherever, dig a 3-foot hole in your backyard or wherever you want, but at least you are in control of your wealth. Because if you can't hold it, you don't own it. That is the difference between having money or having wealth and thinking you have wealth. If you have your money in a bank account, that's not yours. They can freeze your account. It's backed by nothing. It's a promissory note that used to have value when you could exchange those paper notes for the certificates for the actual metal, but now you can't do that. So now we just buy the metal itself and say, screw the paper promises. So, and actually, real quick, I want to ask you all, do you also invest into gold? Do you store gold as well, or are you strictly silver? Let me know in the comment section below. Gold Rush architects Wilson and Gundlach rewrite the playbook. The U.S. economy is no longer simply flirting with a traditional recession. It is showing unmistakable signs of a structural breakdown as even the world's top strategists scramble for new playbooks. Among the most influential voices, Mike Wilson, Chief Investment Officer of Morgan Stanley, has ignited a new debate on portfolio construction. Wilson advocates for a radical 60-20-20 approach, 60% equities, 20% fixed income, and a dramatic 20% allocation of gold, which is pretty big. That's pretty big. Only because usually you would see maybe 5% allocation in your portfolio, right? But 20% is a bold claim. But silver stackers, I feel like, is more like an 80-20, like 80% physical gold and silver, 20%, maybe treasury or something. But for someone like him to say that, it is a dramatic 20% allocation. In his recent commentary, Wilson argued that this new model offers a far more robust defense against inflation and central bank policy uncertainty compared to the time-honored 60-40 split. Unsatisfied with traditional hedges, Wilson describes gold as an anti-fragile asset to own, a safe haven with resilience against rising inflation and market downturns, and insists that high-quality stocks and gold together now form the strongest duo for investor protection. I mean, All you have to do is follow the money. Why is China now creating this digital currency backed by gold? Why is Russia buying so much gold and silver? Why is India buying so much gold and silver? Why did Saudi Arabia just buy 932,000 contracts of silver on the SLV? Why are all the central banks around the world buying so much gold and silver? Why are all these successful billionaires buying so much silver and gold? They all know something. If the most successful, powerful, and biggest banks, countries, and people are all doing that, then you should probably do it too. Monkey see, monkey do when it comes to money, because, actions speak louder than words. Gunlock predicts $4,000 gold and 25% allocations, not excessive. And if gold hits 4,000, what do you think silver would be? If gold hits 10,000, what do you think silver would be? We could play the gold to silver ratio and kind of look at it from that perspective, but I do see the silver starting to take on a life of its own regardless of what gold's doing. So Double Line Capital's Jeffrey Gunlock has added his influential voice to the gold rush. Gunlock recently forecasted that gold could hit $4,000 an ounce before the end of the year, suggesting that even a 25% gold weighting in portfolios is not excessive in the current environment. Gunlock, known for his prescient macro calls, echoes Wilson's conviction that traditional portfolios are dangerously outdated and that gold must now take center stage for anyone serious about protecting wealth from inflation, policy missteps, and financial market tremors. And think about this. Imagine if, because gold is a much bigger market than silver is. That's why silver is more volatile. And I forget who mentioned this, but they were like, imagine if even 2% of the gold market switched to silver. That could send prices soaring. Even something like 2%, even 1%, that would send prices soaring. And with silver approaching $50, I feel people will start trading the gold to silver ratio or start allocating over. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that if people are seeing silver do something that has a lot more potential to rise more than their current asset they're holding, they would transfer said current asset into that thing, right? If gold has a chance to just keep pushing its limits after it's already broken out of its volcano, and it's pushing all-time highs, but you have silver that the volcano hasn't erupted yet, it would make more sense to transfer gold into silver, since it's looking like silver is going to outperform gold for the foreseeable future to a very high degree. It would only make sense to do that. That's why people trade the gold to silver ratios, depending upon which one makes the most sense at that time, whether it's gold or silver. So, overstretched valuations, underlying fragility. Meanwhile, the disconnect in financial markets has never been more glaring. Microsoft's PE ratio stands near 38, well above its historical norm. Tesla's in the stratosphere at about 225. Nvidia trades above 50 levels in that prior decades would have been regarded as warning signs of a dangerous bubble. These magnificent 7 tech stocks drive market indices higher, yet their valuations are increasingly disconnected from earnings momentum, casting further doubt on the durability of this bull run. So we're talking about a layoff tsunami. Gold as a lifeboat. Portfolio paradigm shift. Gold as a lifeboat. This is not merely recessionary turbulence, but a profound phase change in the economic system. Surveys already showed that nearly 60% of companies anticipate layoffs further into 2026. Former pillars of prosperity, the upper middle class, and affluent households are pulling back sharply on spending. Luxury retail, upscale travel, and the previously untouchable tech sector are now on the defensive. The sea change is so dramatic that both institutional and retail investors are headed for safety. Allocations to gold are at multi-generational highs, and market forecasters are openly talking about gold prices, the likes of which haven't been seen since the 1970s. Morgan Stanley's Mike Wilson and Double Line's Jeff Gunlock are not the outliers, but the bellwethers. their calls for making gold the cornerstone of portfolio defense mark the beginning of a new investment era where faith in the old social contract of work growth and asset inflation has begun to fracture and the rush to safety is on. I mean, and finally people are starting to get the picture of, oh wow, wait, maybe I should be protecting my wealth. Maybe I have a little bit too much faith in the system. Maybe it's time to protect myself and my family and my hard-earned dollars, and put my money into something that holds its value. My money into something that holds its value, like precious metals. So yeah. Thought that was an interesting article. Let's see what gold and silver are at. So silver is at $43.09. Look at this candlestick, by the way. Look how beautiful this thing is. Look at that. Like, if you pull back, look at that. And do you see this over here? That's when it was $50 in 2011. Look how close we are getting. Look at that pattern. But you see, this time it's more gradual. That means it's not just going to skyrocket back down because prices are stabilizing higher. So now, I mean, it does look like there's going to be some type of pullback. I mean, potentially. But prices are stabilizing higher. So, it's going to be harder for it to go lower and easier for it to go higher. Whereas before, as soon as we hit this ceiling, bam, went way back down. So that's the difference between this time and last time, is prices have stabilized, which is very, very important to understand. So one last thing I want to check out before we wrap this video up is usdebtclock.org. So the national debt is $37,516,916,000,000. Debt per citizen is $109,000. There's some very interesting information on here. Let's see how many millionaires there are. So there's 23,747,439 millionaires. There are 725,581 homeless people. There's been 118,133 drug deaths. Let's see, 61,764,323 retirees, 542,000 bankruptcies. Wow, there's so much information on here. Oh yeah, so let's see. Social Security is that $1,543,160,000,000. Defense and War, $928,400,000,000. Then over here you can see like dollar to silver ratio now is $1,223 an ounce. So yeah, there's a lot of very, very interesting information on this website, usdebtclock.org. It also says like total hidden wealth, 175,843,000,000. No, that's trillion. Hidden wealth, there's 175,843,747,000,000 of hidden wealth. Wealth per citizen, 515,300. What does that mean? Hidden wealth, asset-backed dollar. Oh, so they're talking about like gold. Yeah, because precious metals reserves. Real estate, land, stock market, recaptured assets. Very interesting website. Go check it out yourself. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. Go subscribe. Go check out my latest videos. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. From now on, every single month on the 31st, you have a chance to win silver, a continuous silver giveaway. Well, if you become a member of the Secret Silver Society on my Patreon, you have that opportunity. So every single month, you have something exciting to look forward to, which would be winning silver. On top of that, you'll have access to a live chat room with other silver stackers where you can post pictures and chat, just hang out with everyone, and have early access to my videos along with supporting me. If this is something you'd like to do, then come join my Patreon. It's patreon.com/silverslayer. Upon joining, you'll be given a monthly raffle ticket and instant access to that chat room. Go introduce yourself. Everyone is super nice, and it's more personal and intimate than a YouTube comment section. Folks, I'm so excited to announce that I've partnered with American medical experts whose purpose is helping veterans get the medical benefits that they truly deserve. Over 17 million veterans aren't receiving their full benefits, and if this is you or someone you know, then act now. American medical experts are offering free consultations through our med team to see how we can help. The med team offers board-certified doctors who have experience working with the VA, comprehensive medical evidence for services like mental health as well. Some of these include your Nexus letter, your DBQs, your TDIUs, your AAs, and more. I want to personally thank American Medical Experts for helping veterans, but also giving me an opportunity to help veterans as well. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment to get a free consultation through our med team. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless.